So next we have another talk by Ghislaine Fandel. So a little bit of about her is that she's a science communication lead at Climate Science, an educational charity with a focus on climate solutions and youth empowerment. Following the 2018 climate strikes, Ghislaine became increasingly involved in climate education and sustainability projects in her local community. Having graduated from McGill University with a degree in economics, environmental, and international development, Ghislaine is now looking to help bring climate education to people all over the world and empower and amplify their voices of those most affected by climate change. Thank you so much for being here, and let's hear you.
Hi, Erica. Thank you so much for the intro. And hi, everyone listening. I'm really excited to be here today. So I first want to give a really big thank you to the STEM Summit team for having me here today and for giving me the opportunity to talk to you all a bit about the work that I do, as well as the importance of using your voice and your platform. So like Erica mentioned, my name is Gilan Fandel. I use she, her pronouns. I'm 23 years old and I'm currently based in Montreal, Canada. During my undergraduate degree at McGill University, I studied environment, economics, and international development, and I became involved in extracurriculars more related to the climate and social issues following the climate strikes. Today, I work at Climate Science as science communication lead and content director, which is really just a fancy way of saying that I do a lot of writing and a lot of reviewing. And so to give a bit of context and a bit about Climate Science, we're a UK-based charity that works to provide free and accessible resources on climate solutions to people of all ages. So a little on our background. Back in 2019, our CEO and co-founder, Eric Steinberger, took it upon himself to learn about climate change and how to solve it. And as we do with many of our burning questions, he Googled it. But this was to little avail. He struggled to find content that was both accessible and reliable. So eventually, down the road, he started making Instagram posts with quick facts about climate change and a little personified Earth, who's our mascot, Earthly. And this came along with a description on the topic or the solution at hand in the caption. And within a few months, the account had amassed tens of thousands of followers. But it wasn't really until we had teachers messaging the account and reaching out saying that they had used the content in their classrooms and asking if there was more available. And that kind of, a light bulb went off, and I think he realized that this is something that the world really needs, is climate education. So today we have Climate Science, and we create lots and lots of content on climate change and climate solutions. So that's everything from children's books for ages 7 to 10, to online courses for ages 12 and up, to videos, school activities, quizzes, and even a global competition during which we have youth ages 14 to 25 find solutions to real global problems. We really try to reach all age groups and all types of learners, which is, why you can read a course or watch a YouTube video if you're a more visual learner, or even try out a quiz if gamified learning is for you. And of course, that wasn't just one person doing all of that. Today, Climate Science is composed of over 1,000 volunteers, roughly 10 paid staff, and is entirely youth-led. So we're a team of scientists, authors, artists, translators, and we even have our global community in over 30 countries, all working toward one common goal. Now, I want to go back to what I mentioned a little bit earlier about a lack of accessible content that is readily available to the public. And so when I say accessibility, what I'm really referring to is how easy to understand our content is. So today, one of the main issues we have in science communication is that scientists and researchers alike have all the information, but the way it's communicated to the public can be really difficult to understand for the general public. And unfortunately, the information that is easy to understand comes from really unreliable sources like news and blogs, which, can have accurate information, but it's not reliable. So this comes with a bigger problem that came about as a result of this gap between reliability and accessibility, and that's misinformation. Misinformation is something that for a long time has been a major challenge for the climate movement and has unfortunately been used to the advantage of special interest groups like the fossil fuel industry in an effort to delay climate action. So when we talk about using our platform for good, whether you're working in STEM or you plan to in the future, what I really want you to take away is how badly the world needs your knowledge. And when I say the world, I'm not just referring to other scientists or researchers or even policymakers. I'm talking about your average citizens because we have a desperate, desperate need today to spread the knowledge. So more than ever, we need the general public to trust scientists, but this is a whole lot easier when the public can understand what scientists are talking about generally. What the public demands of their respective governments and leaders can help pivot climate action on behalf of nations in the right direction, which is why it is so important, which is why science communication specifically is so important. And when we know what needs to be done, when average citizens know what needs to be done, we can take our first steps in ensuring that it actually happens and calling on our leaders and our governments to take action. So how do we do this? For me, personally, it's been quite a journey in my academic and even in creative writing. For a long time, I struggled to simplify the language and really communicate what I wanted to say in as few words as possible. Because oftentimes in doing that, we get the most powerful messages. And if you've ever read an economics paper, you'll realize that effective communication and simplified language just isn't really something that we're taught. So eventually I started working with much younger audiences as a camp counselor. I used to go to high schools and talk about climate change. And then I joined journalism clubs on campus, and that really helped to really simplify and condense the information in an easily understandable way. And even today, I'm still practicing every day through the work that I do with climate science, by doing some freelance writing on the side, and really by talking to anyone that is willing to listen. That's how I get that practice in. So by telling you this, what I'm really trying to get at is that one, there is a learning curve, as there is with a lot of the things that we do. And two, you don't need to have a social media account with tens of thousands of followers or a nonprofit organization to be able to use your voice for good. Even by just talking to people within your circles, family, neighbors, teachers, whomever is willing to listen, by really practicing those communication skills, you can make a difference as a person in STEM. Knowledge really is power. And so by talking to you today, what I want you to take away is to know this, know that knowledge is power, believe it, and please use your power for the good of our planet and for the species that inhabit it. Finally, if climate education or science communication is something that really interests you and something that you'd like to become more involved in, feel free to shoot me a message on LinkedIn. There aren't that many Ghislaine Fandel, so I'm sure that you'll find me. And thank you for being here today and for listening.
Thank you so much. It was so interesting. You mentioned like very great points. I mean, education is just like the foundation of what we can do in the world, right? So it's really important to take that into account. Attendees, if you had any questions, please drop them in the chat. Uh, yeah, like it was amazing. I think like what you said also, like if we don't reach out to the average citizens, the normal citizens, how like are we going to make a change in the world, right? Um, but that was impressive. Thank you so much. And I think now we're going to pass over to Maha so we can have our final session for the day.